Welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be having a look at Solana. Before we jump into the price action, I just want to say thank you for watching. If you are enjoying the content, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and why not leave us some feedback down below. In the description below, you'll also find a link to Discord. Come check it out. There is loads happening this week, so it's free to join. Like I said, once in the general chat area, just add mention a member of staff and we'll be happy to help you out with anything you may need. Okay, so for the most part with Solana, I'm looking at it in two ways. So I'm still looking at the potential that we could have potentially had a fifth wave extension here, and that we've actually completed early, and we could argue that this is actually a bigger corrective structure now already starting from back here. The alternative way that I'm looking at it is that potentially we've actually completed into this high point where we would actually have looked at this potentially as a triangle, as an A, B, C, D, E as a triangle, and then a really short fifth wave inside this. So that is possible. And we have broken down past this fourth wave low. So, we can start to argue that this is potentially completed here if we want to count this slightly different. So this would be looking at the potential that actually we've pushed up higher here with the wave one, and then we've actually just had a truncated fifth wave within this move. So it's not my favorite interpretation, but we'll have to see how these moves progress from this point. If we do actually complete here, then what we could be looking for is this deeper retracement into this zone here of this 1469 to this 1038. That would be a typical B wave retracement. However, we need to just monitor this because it could also just be shallow, and then we look to push up with this additional C wave from a higher point here. But we have lost this fourth wave low, so it would be potentially likely that we come back it down into some of these lower regions. And this 50% actually lines up quite nicely with this previous structure here. So if we do actually move down into there, that could tie in as well with a retest of the center line here of the channel. So this is one of the things I'm still looking out for. So within this, like I said, we can either look at from here or from here. So if we're looking at it from this point here, what we can argue is that we have a couple of possibilities. And what I would be looking at is if we're looking at it from here, then we'd have to look at this potentially as an ABC down into this W point here with a connector wave, and potentially looking at this either as an ABC, where we've got a connector, an X wave here again. So this could either just be ABC, X, and then we're looking to push down much deeper here. If that's the case, this target would be slightly different. This is my preferred way that I'm looking at it at the moment, um, that I have it on screen, where I'm looking at this as a connector in the middle, where basically it's looking for a double zigzag to play out. But if we were just looking at this as an A wave, this potentially is a B wave. That one-to-one actually be much lower here at the 1659. However, like I said, if we just get another five wave move to the downside here, the one-to-one of this, where we're looking for this as an A, B, and a C wave to the downside, that one-to-one would actually bring us down towards this 1834. Though this would be invalidated by actually moving back above this X wave high of 22, 24, 24. So if we do move above here, this would invalidate this option. It wouldn't, however, invalidate the potential that this is an A wave. We look for a B, and then we look to progress down for that C wave again. So that's just something we need to bear in mind. If we do push up higher here, we could still be looking for a structure where this all is an A wave. We look for this B wave retracement up, and then we look for the C wave to the downside. So if we were to argue from the current structure that we had, what I would be looking for then is the potential actually to move up potentially to a one-to-one of this A wave. And off of the current structure, obviously the structure can change, but a one-to-one would be back up here to this 2304. So if we do move back up here into this zone, that 2304 might be interesting area. Also, these zones here shown by the 1382 and the 1236, so 2380 and 2428. So we can see that this would actually bring us back up potentially into this zone here of the 0.618 zone. It is possible that we could look for this to move back up here. It is also possible that this could be this B wave, like I said, even if we're looking at it in this instance, and we don't look to take that X wave high, this B wave could also be incomplete, and we could move a bit sideways here for a bit longer before actually looking to drop to the downside. So just need to give this a bit of space and see what happens. If we do actually push up one more time here, but fail to take this X wave high, then we could still look for this potential to have a additional 5-wave move down here, looking at this as a W, X, and a Y to the downside. So this is something that we could still see play out here. The other way that we were looking at it is actually if we want to talk about a bigger breakdown here, this is something I'm just keeping an eye on in case we do start to get more impulsive structure forming to the downside. And basically what I'm looking at here is just the fact that we could have a series of ones and twos here. Nothing would be confirmed in this yet because obviously we just have 3-wave moves and nothing's sort of completed. But if we do start to drop off here and we start to get more vertical in our descent and steeper with a lot more volume kicking in, basically what I want to looking on there, be on the lookout for is a move past the 1613. If we do move deeper down into the zone, it could potentially trigger a series of additional fourths and fifths where we would look at this then as a 1, 2, potentially for this as a 3, 4, and a 5. And then basically they would look to take us towards this 1563 to this 1490. What we'd be then looking for is that the additional potential that we have these other waves shown here. So the circled fourth wave and fifth wave, and then alternatively this Roman numerals 3, 4, and 5. So if we did have an extension like this, obviously this is just working with the fibs. I don't have the correct structure to work with. So these can extend down or they can sort of fall a little bit shorter than the areas I have. But effectively, that could mean a push down towards 1306 to this 1154. So this is something that I'm just keeping an eye on. If we do start to break down here and continue to set these lower highs and start to break down in a more sort of impulsive way, then this would be my next option that I'd be looking out for. Is the potential we could actually be getting this bigger impulsive structure to the downside, though we haven't confirmed any of this, so this is just plotting it out for tracking purposes. If if we are looking at this and we want to talk about, like I said, so we can see we're sort of forming a channel here. So it like it is possible that this is not the correct one. Sorry, this one. So we can argue that we could just bounce down in this channel where, like I said, where we're looking for this potentially to be another C wave leg to the downside. So we could just actually progress down slowly within this channel and then just sort of continue to extend out where this becomes an A, B, and then or W. Then we get an X, then we get another 3-wave structure, and this could all sort of move down within this channel. So it's interesting to keep an eye on. If we do break out of it, it doesn't necessarily mean we're going to get a higher high. It could just be a push up, and then we actually look to break down, and we'll have to just adjust the channel. The So that's basically looking at this move from this high point here. If you want to look at it from further back, then what we would be looking for is the potential that we have actually completed earlier on. And what I'd be looking for then is pretty much the same idea, except we'd count it slightly different. I'd be looking at this as a W, this is an X wave here, as a B, C, as a flat. Basically, then we'd be looking at this potentially as a zigzag for a Y, because that's the current structure that we have. If this is the correct count, what this could mean is that we could be looking to set up for, like I said previously, that potential for that ABC to the upside. So that ABC could potentially take us up to that 1-to-1 target, which would be here at this 23. However, if we did extend up a little bit higher here towards this 236 to this 1382, which would be 24.25 to this 23.76 zone, we can argue that we could actually come back up here and retest this channel. So we can see this channel is slightly different because this is drawn from further back here and using these two lows that we have here. So we only have 2 touch points on the top and the bottom. We don't have additional confirmation, but this is a possibility that we could start to form within this channel. So it's worth keeping an eye on. If we do move up here one more time, like I said, I'd be keeping an eye on this zone here, this sort of 24.95 to this 22.88, and that would be looking at this potentially as a X wave or B wave here, and then we could look for either additional 3-wave structure to the downside where we form something like this and we sort of just grind down here, Or alternatively, we could start to see some more impulsive structure where we form a C wave, where this just becomes an A, we get a B, and then we look for that potential C wave deeper. So this is still a possibility within this, where we're actually looking for this lower move here towards this 1460. If we do move down into this zone, then we'd be potentially looking for another wave to the upside. It depends exactly where we land as to how high this will go. We can argue that we would potentially be looking at this as a 1-2, but we'd want to see this third wave start to play out and get some structure to it. But for the most part, don't think that we have come down enough for this pull this push to the upside here. So I do think personally that we're going to be seeing a little bit more downside here, but it could also develop into a flat correction. And the only reason I'm mentioning that is because if we turn this liquidity on here, we can see that there has been a little bit of a build up to the upside here. So it wouldn't surprise me if we do get a move like this from further back here, where we get this as an A, we come back up here, look to take out some of this liquidity, and then actually look to move down after that point for this B wave. So, if we do start to break down, move up here, and we do take this high point, take out this liquidity, I would be very cautious to see whether we get a 5 wave structure come off the back of that move, where it looks to actually push us down and sort of bring us back into this range here of this 50% area, which could then kind of tie into this bigger corrective structure here with us actually ending further back. So, this is something that's quite interesting. If we do end up pushing up here to try and take out some of that liquidity, then it is possible that we could get this further rejection down to the downside in a 5 wave move at a later date. So we just need to monitor this. If we do break down, like I said, we can argue that we are looking for that breakdown, looking for that 5 wave structure, but nothing's confirmed yet. We just have the potential to break down. And at the most, we have a 3 wave move down here. We would be expecting some kind of a retracement to the upside here unless we do start to actually break down with that 5 wave structure where this becomes an additional 1-2, we retrace to the upside, we face rejection, then we start to move away from this area. So what we'd be looking for in that scenario would actually be rejection off of this zone here of this 50%, this 21.29 to all the way up to this $22 area. Moving above this A wave high would then make me look for this C wave potentially to take us back up towards this 1-1, which would be 22.59, or alternatively a little bit higher here into this red box zone. If only really by coming back above this high point here can we argue that we're in some other kind of a move. And what we'd be looking for then potentially is looking, I'd have to then, the reason I don't want to look at this as a additional 4th wave is because it's quite large in comparison to anything that we have back here. So uh, it is, I mean, it's in the zone of a 4th wave, but it is unlikely that we can match this corrective structure with anything further back within this move to the upside. So that's why I'm avoiding it. But they, I don't want to say it's not possible. There is still the possibility that all of this could be a fourth, and then we still have a 5th wave to the upside, though it's not my favorite, well, it's not my preferred count. Like I said, the structure's a bit too big. We'll have to give it a bit of time and see. But if we did get an impulsive movement to the upside and we're looking for the potential of a 5th wave, the target would be this 3207 to this 2857. So that would be that would be the target zone if we do get an additional leg up here, though I don't think it's as likely as the potential to break down deeper. Okay, I'm going to leave the video there. I hope everyone found it useful. If you did, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video. Leave us some feedback down below, and in the description you'll find links to Discord. Come check it out, it is free to join. In the description you'll also find affiliate links for BYBIT and PrimeXBT, both great exchanges that we use on a regular basis, so check them out if you don't have an account with them. Using the affiliate link does help support the channel, and we do appreciate it. They do have deposit bonuses, which more information can be found by clicking through the links below, and it will take you to their website. You can read through it there. Check it out if you don't have an account already. Everyone, have a great day. We'll see you in the next.